Hello, and welcome to this week's episode of the Qualcast, the official and only podcast of Qualbert.com. And this week, we're going to be chatting about the first indie games we've ever played, what games got us into a specific genre, and what we've been playing, reviewing, and what we'll be looking forward to in the next month. Today, I'm joined by Lee, aka Solem,
Hello.
Simon, aka Mac Speed,
Greetings.
and we have Sandy with us today. Hello, Sandy.
Hello.
Nice to have you with us. And Para has joined again.
G'day, how do you do? Para is also here.
We have a stacked cast today for you. And first up, we're going to be talking about the first indie games we've ever played. I'll go first since I'm currently talking. But I kind of thought about that we play indies a lot, and indies are featured all over Qualbert.com. And it got me thinking, like, when did I first play an indie game? So I had to look back through games I've completed over the past years. And my first official indie game was Cat Quest. Has anyone played Cat Quest?
Can't
No.
say I have.
Not a thing.
Hmm.
Hmm.
I have.
Sandy is the only sophisticated other person here.
I said yes.
Wow.
Ignore me.
My answer remains the same. Cat Quest was made in 2017 by the Gentle Bros. It's like action RPG with some fantastic cat puns. It was that good. It spawned 2 sequels, and I've played them all. It's kind of got like cute cartoonish visuals, but then the gameplay can be quite difficult. But it's pretty fun. And if you haven't played it, I recommend checking it out. Let's move on to Lee because he thinks I ignore him. Lee, what was your
I know
first
you
indie
ignore me.
game?
Again, referring to my age, I had to look quite far back actually because I've played Cat Quest and obviously many other more recent indies, but I believe the first one I played, and it's a series. It's called Toho. Probably no one else has heard of this.
No, I have heard of it. You are legitimately the only person I've ever seen who's actually admitted to playing it. Everyone else is it's just a meme.
Oblivious, yeah.
I am part of that meme crowd. I've heard of it, but I'm not entirely sure what
So
specifically it is.
So the Toho series, particularly the earlier titles, I think he's got some more people in with some of the more recent ones, but solo dev from Japan. His online name is Zun. It's a shoot 'em up, like vertical scrolling shoot 'em up, but basically pioneered the bullet hell genre. So you've probably seen the pictures where there's like hundreds of bullets on the screen at a time, and you've got a character, but like your hitbox is a dot, and it's like you can see it on the screen. So it's moving between literal hundreds of bullets. I strongly recommend trying them if you're into like shoot 'em up as a genre. The gameplay is excellent, but Zun also did all of the music for all the games. They're quite good as well. And I think there's 19 games in the series now, and there's spin-offs. He did like a one-on-one fighting game with the characters as well. Like the guy's insane. I think the first one was released in 1997 they're all on PC. If you can find them, dig them up and give them a go.
Wow, that sounds insane. I'll have to look that up. So you played these when they came out?
I think I played the third or fourth one first. Probably around like 2000, 2001.
Yeah, cool. Have to look it up. Okay, Mac, do you want to tell us your first indie game?
Yes. So I actually had to think about what indie game I played first. I mean, we've all played Flash games and everything online, and I guess you can consider those to be sort of indie games as well. But I guess the real first true indie game that I sat down and played because I wanted to play this is a side-scrolling RPG platformer called Dust and Elysian Tale. It came out in 2012, and it's by a solo dev from America named Dean Dodrill and his little studio called Humble Hearts. It's a really fun game. Like you play this anthropomorphic sort of fox creature. You've lost your memory. His name is Dust. He's the titular character, and oh god, it has been so long since I've actually played it. I can't even remember the full story of it. The only other thing I remember is that you know how in like a lot of games you have your sort of assistant character, like you know how Link has Navi in uh, Ocarina of Time. In Dust and Elysian Town, you have this little flying fox creature. When I say flying fox, I don't mean like an actual flying fox. I mean think Tails from Sonic, and her name is Fidget, and she's adorable. the and I was actually thinking about going back and replaying it in prep for this, but the problem with that is so it was actually originally launched on the Xbox 360 with sort of Microsoft's help with that. It was published by Microsoft Studios through the Xbox Live Arcade, and it's just not available anymore on Xbox. Like I was gonna dig it up. I was gonna dig up my 360 to play it, but yeah, it's not available anymore. You can still play it on Steam, which is really good, but
So that's the only place you can find it.
unfortunately, yeah.
Also, why we should keep physical media, right, guys?
Mm,
That
So
sounds that sounds really good though. So if you got Steam, you want to check it out. Sandy, what about you?
So from what I can remember, my first indie I ever played was Super Meat Boy, which I'm sure a lot of us have played now,
mhm.
as well as like Binding of Isaac, which came a bit later. And Super Meat Boy was my first ever encounter with that kind of. The stages are super short. They require you to be as accurate as possible, but they're all designed to be played over and over and over and over and over. And then just having that little kind of touch at the end where when you beat the stage, you see all of your failed attempts all at once playing out. Uh, it was just this weirdly satisfying little platformer, and it had fantastic soundtrack. I'm not as much of a fan as the sort of Redux version they did of it. I'm very much a pure, very original Super Meat Boy fan. Um, and yeah, it was just so different to all the kind of AAA, AA stuff that was coming out at the time as well.
I only played the original a little bit. Why didn't you like the Redux? Did they have?
So they sort of played with the soundtrack a bit. They sort of adjusted the way that things felt to play. Like it was a lot tighter, so I guess in a way it was easier to get through things and like to use just skill based stuff. There's something
Yeah,
about the slightly loose nature of the original version that I always enjoyed. Whereas like
yeah, gotcha.
I didn't touch those spikes. Why did I die? But you know, it was
Yeah,
fun that way.
exactly. Gives it a bit of character.
Are you going to play the 3D one that's coming out in the future?
I
They got.
think so. It does look like a laugh. I don't know how
Mm.
it's gonna work, but I'm sure it'll be great.
I
Is it
almost
coming
feel
out
like
soon?
adding. Yeah, I think it's next year. I just remember the trailer at Summer Games Fest, but
Yeah,
I almost feel like adding that third dimension is going to make it even harder.
I think so. I mean, I can only imagine the type of traps they're gonna come up with.
Mm.
And I think they did show some rough gameplay after its initial reveal, so I don't know how far away it is, but yeah, it'll be fun to have another 3D platformer to go through as well.
Yeah, I just foresee things like a pipe that you have to go through, but it's like all spikes coming in and like razor blades swinging past and that kind of stuff. It's gonna be hard for sure.
Oh yeah.
Cool. Hey Para, do you have a first indie game you played?
absolutely. But when I had actually first initially written this, I didn't look too deeply. But I do have a true answer for you. At first, I was going to say Mars Explorer for the browser, a nice little 3D Unity game, if that happens to spark any memories.
Yes,
Mhm.
yes.
Unfortunately, I found out that is actually not technically an indie game, so scratch
No.
that.
So
The
what's your
tr-
real one?
Stanley Parable.
There we go.
The
That's a good
Stanley
indie.
Parable. That was something that I think I had seen recommended come on Good Game, the old ABC show, and I thought I'd give it a crack because it was, I mean, fairly accessible at the time, and it was just fantastic. Getting such a like the initial first reaction, the first playthrough is always, reasonably funny. You get the whole fully voiced dialogue, and you do it completely different and get a completely different experience from it's a really interesting representation of like a choose your own adventure game, almost not delivered in the way that you would otherwise sort of expect a story like that to have been told. I've
Absolutely.
not played the second one yet, but I hear it's pretty good.
There's a second one.
I didn't even know
Yeah,
there was a second one.
there is indeed.
Oh well,
Actually,
there you
unless
go.
I'm losing my grasp on reality, but
I know they came out with. I know they came out with like I want to call it like the deluxe edition or some
Mm.
shit like that.
It sort of it
Yeah, they
started as
did
a
like a
mod, right?
remake. Yeah,
And
it was
then they
like
made it into its own standalone.
yes, yes, and I've played it in the mod version too, which I think comes for Half-Life, not Gary's mod.
yes, that is
Yeah.
correct.
Also very fun, fully voiced. It's I think it's just sort of like a progressively refined experience with each release that they've made. But yeah.
No, you go.
Oh, but yeah, no, I'm just saying it's really just it was a unique game for what I sort of experienced at the time, because I would have been, God, this came out in 2012 if I'm not mistaken. 2013.
13, yes.
Oh yeah, God, I was like 16 years old. It was a really good introduction to sort of like indie games and such.
Your mind must have been blown.
Yeah, honestly, I mean, it had a lot of replayability for something that was technically only about an hour or two long.
Fun fact: when I did my review for that T game, I did the
Wonder Stop.
Wonder Stop. Thank you. The co-creator of Stanley Parable actually worked on that, and I was looking into it. And after the Stanley Parable came out, because it was so popular, he actually had like a kind of breakdown, like a mental breakdown, because it was so popular.
Oh,
Yeah, and it led to him doing like art classes and drawings, and that's where he came up with like the idea of like a tea shop in a forest sort of thing.
huh.
And anyway, that's a little fun fact for you.
There you go, a bit of
That's
trivia.
cool.
Yeah, pretty
I
crazy.
got a question for you, Para.
Mhm.
So, a couple of podcasts ago, Cap and I were talking about like completing games and everything, and going for achievements. Did it ever like tickle your fancy to go for that one achievement in the Stanley Parable where it's just like don't play it for like 7 or 10 years?
Now that you mention it, I think I'm actually due for that.
You can go
It's
and get it
been
right
a hot
now.
second, right? Let me have a quick look.
Boot it up and let's
Para
get a
will be back with us in
live
5 minutes.
let's get a live achievement.
Stanley Parable last played 2018,
Ooh, it might not be quite long enough.
April
Man.
11th.
Is it 7 years
Oh,
or is it
Let
7
me have a
years
look.
or
Let me have a
10?
look.
If it's
For
if it's
5
7,
years. For
oh,
5
it's 5
years.
years.
Hold on,
Oh, that's it.
Easy.
Yeah, so
I'm
if you're doing that, you should just get it, right?
Yeah, I'm installing it
For
now.
achievement 1.
I'm installing this shit now. Well,
After the podcast, Paris is gonna like play this all night.
I need to do another run. I got to do it on a run.
Uh,
Yeah. What a fantastic game. Play the Stanley Parable for the entire duration of a Tuesday. Wouldn't that be fun?
That was crazy. I think you can just leave it on for 24 hours. Yeah.
Yeah. Get an idle game going at the same time. But yes, I digress. Fantastic game. Highly recommended if you have not given it a
Absolutely.
nudge quite yet.
Excellent.
Okay, so that's all the games, our first indie games. So that is quite a selection. And now indie games are very popular, or a lot more popular. And yeah, we love them. So now we're going to go slightly similar topic. A specific game that got you into a specific genre. Now, I'm gonna go first, and my one is a little game you probably haven't heard of called Bloodborne.
No, what is Bloodborne? I've
Please
never
tell us about
heard
it.
of it.
Well, it has blood in it. I mean,
What?
seriously, Bloodborne is was the first From Software game that kind of deviated from the Dark Souls, Demon Souls kind of thing. And ironically, I had tried Demon Souls on the PS3 when it came out, and I was not a fan slash too young slash inexperienced. I think I beat the first boss, which was kind of like the practice boss, and then I got up to the second boss. And if anyone's played it, I think it was the Tower Knight,
You're the
and I couldn't.
massive guy. Yeah,
Yeah,
like
and,
you're hacking in his ankles, literally.
and I couldn't beat him. So anyway, fast forward a few years later, 2015, they came out with Bloodborne. So I was like, wow, this looks amazing. So I gave it a go, and it's still my favorite FromSoft game. But I loved it so much, and the setting, the gameplay, that I went back and I played Dark Souls 3, and then I actually haven't played Dark Souls 1 and 2, but I've played the remastered Demon Souls, Sekiro, and of course Elden Ring and its DLCs, etc. So yeah, Bloodborne was my introduction, and I'm still waiting for Bloodborne 2 or Bloodborne Remastered, please, from software.
So I was
One
gonna
day,
say, like, is
surely.
Bloodborne still your favorite? And it sounds like it very much is.
I think so. Like, it's so hard because they're all so good, but I think just the unique setting, and I spent so many hours listening to YouTube lore, just trying to understand it. And like, it's probably one of the only games, maybe aside from Metal Gear Solid and Kingdom Hearts, actually, but it's probably one of the most games I've listened to lore or watch videos on, etc.
Hmm.
Because it's just so deep, and it's like every character has like a 8 hour story. Well, every boss has like an 8 hour story behind it or whatever, and it's just I don't know. I just love it.
Outside of the FromSoft, what other non FromSoft
My non
Souls
from
likes
Souls-like.
soft
do you enjoy?
souls like I played a few, so I think um there was the Surge. That was pretty cool. That was more like a robot one, and you have like upgradable robotic equipment. That was cool. But in the last few years, with almost every developer trying to make a Souls like or action RPG Souls like, Lies of P has to be my favorite. The it it is very similar to Bloodborne, and that's probably why, but it's different in the fact, there's robots, and it's based on the Pinocchio original story, and yeah, it's just amazing. So I definitely recommend that if you haven't played it. That's the DLC for that only came out a couple of months ago too, which I
Yeah,
still
and it
have
was
yet to have time to play.
it's the one of the free games on PSN Extra
Mhm.
this month or last month? Probably last month, I think.
I think it's this month still, technically.
Oh. Well, grab it
Yes,
now
I
if you
think
haven't.
you
Get
have.
it
I
while you
think you
can.
have like 2 days to get it or something. Well, if you're listening to this, it's probably too late. So it doesn't.
No, I think it goes by the calendar month, I think. So they should have another week or two from
I think it should be until like
today.
September 7th or something.
Oh, okay. Well, there you
Oh,
go.
beautiful.
But either way, check that one out if you haven't yet. Lee, do you want to tell us your?
Of course. If anyone's been listening to multiple episodes of the Qualcast, you'll know I'm a big JRPG fan, and certainly oh my god, news and the one
What's a
that
JRPG? Juice? Is that with juice or something?
I'm just going to ignore you and keep talking. So it's the game that really got me. I can't remember if it was the first one I played. I think I must have tried a few others. I'm pretty sure I played Final Fantasy Mystic Quest before. Uh, very average. Like, it's okay, but compared to other games, it's not good. But it was definitely Chrono Trigger was the one that made me a JRPG fan for life. Um, in Australia, we didn't get a release of Chrono Trigger back on the Super Nintendo, but I was good friends with, or my family was good friends with the guy who owned the local video rental shop. It wasn't like a Blockbuster; it was like a standalone. Like he owned it himself. It wasn't like a franchise. And he was a big gamer too, and he imported all these, US only games. So he had copies of Super Mario RPG, Chrono Trigger, Final Fantasy 2/4, Final Fantasy 3/6. And I remember going in one day, and my brother and I would play, Mario and F-Zero, all the classic Super Nintendo games. But I'd never played a big JRPG before, and I saw this game on the shelf and just picked up. I was like, this looks interesting. I'm going to give this a go. And I remember borrowing that game over and over, and like waking up at 2 a.m. when everyone was asleep and sneaking out and like turning on the TV and playing an hour of it and going back to bed. Like, amazing story. Graphics for the time were amazing. The soundtrack, character designs by Toriyama, who did Dragon Ball, obviously, which was on TV in the mornings at the time in the 90s. Yeah, it's an experience. And, everyone's heard of Chrono Trigger by now, but hopefully everyone's played it. If you haven't, what are you waiting for? Go play it. It's one of the best games of all time for a reason.
For those that haven't played it, that possibly may be me, where can you play it?
My respect level for you was already so low, and it's just dropped.
I'm sorry, I'm just not as old as you, okay?
Where can you get it? It is on Steam. It is...
There's an Android port, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, the Android port's actually not too bad. There's a DS version, but that's probably prohibitively expensive these days.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Steam or the Android version.
Be good if they made...
And they're ports of the... there was a PS1 re-release, again, not in Australia for whatever reason, but in America, and they added some anime cutscenes as well that look like Toriyama animation. So, yeah.
Did he draw them, or someone else did?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Like, certainly they're his character designs, and like you can see, like the main character Chrono looks kind of like Goku. The main bad guy Magus looks kind of a cross between Vegeta and Piccolo. There's these like anthropomorphic animal characters. Like there's one of the main characters, Frog, is a like a human cross frog, and he's these guys would not look out of place in Dragon Ball.
I was going to make a joke and say, is the main character's name Chrono? Because throughout the years, I've always heard, it's his name's Chrono. No, that's obviously a joke. It's something else.
No, it is. It is. Because of the limitations of the English translation, you can only use 5 characters you can change the characters' names. You can only use 5 letters, like 5 English characters. So his name is spelled Crono, and like they dropped the H out of it. So
fun facts. Yeah, I obviously have heard of it, and I've always wanted to play it. I don't know, I just haven't had the right time, haven't had the right setup. I don't know, maybe I'll try it on Steam.
Yeah, and it's also like, for a JRPG, it's also relatively short.
Oh really?
Like, you can finish it in like your first playthrough if you're not using any guides or anything like that. It's probably around 20-25 hours, which for a JRPG is short-ish, but like once you know where to go and you're not hunting for clues or what do I do next kind of stuff, 10-15 hours even, you can do a playthrough of it. So
yeah, right.
So you have no respect for my time.
I was gonna say it would be good if they added that to the Nintendo Switch Online like classics lineup. That would be
it's crazy.
cool.
Like, why don't they just re-release? Like, even if they put it on the online Switch Online store for $10,
just
like,
a digital.
people would buy it. Like,
I would buy that if that was on there for $10. I would buy that like today, and I'd play it on my Switch.
Yeah, and so like for every year that goes past that, it hasn't been widely released again, because I think the Steam and Android versions came out like in 2016 or something. Like, they've been out for ages.
Yeah.
Like, ooh, is a remake coming? Are they going to remaster it? They're going to do it in like the Octopath 2D HD style, which would be
Oh, that
perfect
would be
for it. But
amazing.
yeah, just
Or they
make it
just
easy
don't
to play
care.
for people.
They just don't care about us fans,
I
us
don't know. Maybe,
gamers.
maybe there's some like contracty stuff in the background because there was so many. It wasn't just like SquareSoft. They got like other people in like Toriyama. Like maybe there's some legal
Possibly.
issues, but yeah.
You know, if he had like some IP rights to it as well, and like since he passed, maybe I don't know, maybe that might free it up. Maybe I don't know.
Who knows?
Who knows? A game that got you into a genre, Mac. Share with us,
Well,
please.
this was a hard one for me. Like I feel like I'm never I don't like put myself into the camp of it really enjoying like one genre, unlike someone with his JRPGs. So I had to think. I ended up coming up with 3 games that really sort of got me into their genres, but also just into games in general. Um, the first one is Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. Like that is the game that got me into these open world, carjacking simulators. Not just GTA, but and obviously not just Red Dead Redemption as well, but stuff like Sleeping Dogs. Like I absolutely love Sleeping Dogs. I thought it was like a fantastic game to add to this sort of genre. And then you have stuff like Watch Dogs as well. It's still this open world action game, open world third person action game. But it all started with San Andreas and following that damn train. Also, I don't know why people give that mission so much shit. I love that mission. It is so fun.
After I see all the memes and stuff, like I played it. I must have played it like half a dozen times. The story, but I don't remember it being that hard.
It really wasn't. Like, if people are having that much, like, such a hard time, just get good. Like, it's
I
really
think I
not
had
that
I think I
bad.
had a harder time with the remote control plane mission.
Oh, the remote control plane and helicopter were the worst. Those ones were actually
You're giving
the
me flashbacks,
worst.
man.
Ah,
Now I'm flashbacks.
yeah.
Lee's in the corner.
Um, but apart from like, so that one's the one that got me into these open world third person games. Like, I still like if I if I broke up my PS2, I think San Andreas would probably be the game that I play first.
You crack it out, and that's the game that's in the disk drive when you open it.
Probably.
Dust it off.
Next up is probably the game that got me into like Western RPGs, specifically first-person shooter Western RPGs, and that's Fallout 3. Like, I will fully admit, New Vegas is the better game. It has the better story. It has better weapons. You can actually aim down sight with those weapons. But I just really like Fallout 3. Like, I really enjoy the setting of it. Um, Liam Neeson is your dad, which is just cool. And yeah, I played that for so long, and I mean, I said it with our completion podcast. It was the first game that I got every single achievement for, including the DLCs.
It's such a
So,
classic. I always remember the song which they remade. They vamped it up for the TV show as well. I don't want to set the
oh,
world on
I
fire.
can't. I don't want to set the world on fire. Yeah, by
By
the
the
ink
ink
spots.
spots in I think it was
Mm,
like 50s or 60s or something. It was originally released that song, but yeah,
yep.
classic.
I mean, to this day, I still know where to get the majority of unique and legendary weapons in that game.
All right,
Sick.
if anyone needs any help with Fallout 3, jump on the Discord channel and ask Mac for some help.
Mm, but the final game I want to talk about, and it's probably the one that's closest to my heart, is Borderlands, which got me into the looter shooter genre. Now, I didn't really like. I played Borderlands, like the first one, and I thought it was okay. I was kind of like pushed into playing it by a friend. I'm like, yeah, this is fun. It was cool. But what really got me was its sequel, Borderlands 2 is hands down probably. I have to say it's my second favorite game of all time. Absolutely love it. The gunplay is great. I love the different classes you can play as, and I would be remiss if I didn't mention the greatest villain, one of the greatest villains in all of gaming, Handsome Jack.
Absolutely.
Like, Handsome Jack is like I don't care about his backstory. He is an asshole for the sake of being an asshole.
Infinitely quotable.
Oh, so much so. One of the lines from Opportunity is that like he comes on the speakers and says that the punishment for littering in the City of Opportunity is death. And if you have a problem with this, I should tell you right now that complaining against the rules is considered verbal littering.
Fantastic. Right.
So yeah, absolutely love Borderlands 2. Like I will gush about it for hours. You can ask our editor in chief how much I talked about it in uni.
I think the comedy was on point too. Like the first one lacked a little bit, like it was a little bit out there, but it lacked a little bit of comedy, and they just ramped that up, but they didn't go too far and they didn't make it too corny, which I think they did in 3. But yeah, it just
Definitely.
hits right and everything just works. And I still remember hunting for those hidden um rare dudes in like the containers and stuff that you had
Oh,
to
the loot
challenge.
midgets, yeah.
The loot midgets. Oh my god. Forgetting the platinum because you had to do all the challenges. And you had to
Shocking.
like respawn.
Weirdly
Like,
enough, I had that achievement in mind when I was playing through it the first time. I'm just like, I gotta look out for these guys. Second box in Opportunity.
no way.
Second box in Opportunity. And it pops out.
Easy done.
So good. That
So good.
is there's a bunch of great games. And
Also,
did you have anything
one
else to
other,
add? Yep.
yeah, just one last like shout out for Borderlands 2 for an amazing character is the DLC character, not playable but NPC is Torg, Mr. Torg. Or if I was to use his full name, it's Mr. Torg Flexington.
Classic.
So many
Voiced
iconic
by
characters too.
voiced by the guy who voices Hercule in Dragon Ball Z.
No way.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, well, you've blown my mind. I did
It's all
not
coming
know
together.
that. I know, right?
Okay.
Tiny Tina was probably one of my personal favorites, along with
Tiny
Claptrap.
Tina was such a good
Oh,
character.
yeah. General Knox is my personal favorite. He is
Oh,
the
Oh, yes.
best character. So tired of nepotism in a giant mech suit.
So good. Sandy, what about you?
So I'm kind of trying to build my identity as the survival horror guy, right? And it might surprise people that the first survival horror game I actually picked up was Resident Evil 3. Like I didn't hop into the series at a sensible start point, like 1 or 2.
I assume you
And
mean
I
the
was maybe
original.
11 when I picked it up, just
Well, that's
from
probably what you
random
would have
bargain
been.
bin
You would have
pre-owned
been
stuff.
like 7 when the first one came out. Probably not appropriate.
I don't know. I mean, I could maybe have spun that one to my parents still because you're fighting zombies, not people. That was always my go-to argument if I wanted a game.
Solid.
And yeah, so I was like, looked at the artwork on the Resident Evil 3 box, and I was like, this looks cool. I'd read a bit about Resident Evil in different gaming magazines. Remember those? And I took it home, and I was terrified. I was horrified by how violent it was, but it was glorious all at once. And it sort of introduced me to the idea of resource management. So you've got your 15 bullets. That's got to get you until you get to the police station. Obviously, that's a bit of an exaggeration. I'm sure it had a lot more ammo than that. And it also introduced Nemesis. So you had your sort of first encounter with a stalking enemy who's just there, just bursting through windows, coming through walls. and then you had your little choice system as well. And I don't know, but that just blew my mind at the time because I'd maybe played like Tomb Raider 1 and Driver or something like that. And this was just a whole new sequence of events. That and pre-rendered backgrounds at that point had reached such a high resolution and level of detail that it was like playing something super real, even though obviously going back now, you're like, why did this feel so real? But it did. I also have one little memory from it that will forever last, and that is I was playing it with a couple of friends. We'd been maybe sitting in silence for about half an hour because of the tension, and Nemesis burst through the window, and all of us screamed out loud all at once.
That's amazing.
And it's almost horrible to say, but I have never actually beaten Resident Evil 3.
Really?
What?
Uh,
The original RE3, it has a very special place in my heart, but I have never got through to the final parts of the game.
how far did you get?
I've been to the Dead Factory, which is near the end,
Yeah.
but I've never persevered to the final few puzzles to get to that final
Yeah,
cutscene.
right.
That's
So
your homework for
why?
next week. Like,
Everyone's
come
getting
on, man. It's
some
not even
homework.
long. It's like it's a relatively short game.
Yep.
So I'm interested to see what you think about the remake because there was a lot of
I
content cut from that.
Yeah. I like the remake. It's a fun game. It's a sensible adaptation of the bits it adapts, but the stuff that it leaves on the cutting room floor is like unforgivable in some ways, especially when it leads you to the clock tower, has it fully in view, advertises it to you, has Jill go towards it, and then just doesn't have it. It's just not there. The level's gone.
That's
And that's
like
one of the best
insane.
bits.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I never
no, I
played the
like the remake.
original, but I played the remake. I was like, oh yeah, this is fun. And then like I read up online, like everyone's just hating it, like all the original fans, like all this stuff. I'm like, oh right.
Yeah. Well, I think one important thing in the remake as well is that Nemesis isn't actually a stalking enemy. He's just an
Yeah.
event,
Yeah.
which was kind
Oh.
of a shame, especially after Mr. X.
Yeah, Mr. X in number 2 was brilliant. Like the Resident Evil 2 remake is still one of the best modern survival games.
Yeah,
And I
they
thought,
did really well with 2 and then dropped the ball with 3
yeah,
for
I
some
don't know what
reason.
Yeah.
happened. And maybe
I
they
mean,
rushed
it went from development Division 1 to Division 2
Yeah.
for the third game. And I think I think they'd maybe been told to make a multiplayer game. And then they were like, oh, actually, you should remake 3. So I think they maybe weren't that ready for it. And then they had to kind of make it faster than they would have wanted.
Also, that multiplayer game at the time was crap. I played way
Yep.
too much of that and I shouldn't have. It was so bad.
However, what they did gift us with the remake was the best version of Jill so far. It's an
Absolutely.
excellent performance.
Absolutely. Para, do you have a game for us?
Yes, indeed. I think I might have actually mentioned this a few episodes ago as my first ever video game, and you sort of touched on it there a bit, Lee, when you mentioned the Super Mario RPG. But the game that sort of got me into turn-based RPGs, and I guess technically JRPGs, would be Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga, which on the Game Boy Advanced was a pretty fantastic, stylish, and exceptionally well made role playing game for the Game Boy. It used just the broad range of colors and artistic styles so fantastically well. And the music that they were able to come up with, I still cannot get it out of my head occasionally. It'll just filter through the back of my head. And as well, the breadth of what you could do and sort of unlock as you progress throughout the story, which also was rather long and was in a relatively open world sort of experience, just with a few loading screens. Would happily play it again, uh, honestly, as frequently as I could. Honestly, I've played it maybe 5 or 6 times, and I base all of my RPG reviews on how it compares to Mario and Luigi, which also is how I got into Final Fantasy IV for the DS, and then progressively into more and different role playing game styles, and especially more modern, well, JRPG, TTRPG, turn based RPG
Yeah,
styles.
it's interesting when all of us have got these games that generally we've referred to games that we played when we were at that sort of 10 to 12 sort of age range, I guess, the ones that sort of that stick with you, and yeah, that's sort of your point of reference, whether it's just for that genre or for games in general. And it's, yeah, as you say, with a game as good as Superstar Saga or Chrono Trigger or San Andreas, you've sort of got this point of reference here, like, am I ever going to play something that good again? It's like, and it's hard sometimes because like you go, oh, this game's good, but it's borrowed from this and this, or
But
it's never,
isn't as good as this.
yeah, it's
I
never going
think
to meet
also
it.
the issue is that, like, it's coming from not necessarily a place of like this game was amazing. Like, whilst it's a good game, it's also your experience with it, and like you're looking to relive that experience, and that just like that's not going to happen
No.
very often.
Nostalgia is a hell of a drug.
Ain't it
That's
just?
right.
But dude, like Chrono Trigger, I try and make it a point of playing through it at least once a year, because it's like it's 10 hours and play it on the train, or however I want to do it. Sometimes I'll one year I'll be like, oh, I don't want to play it, but I want to watch someone play it, and you like watch someone do a let's play and experience it for the first time through someone else, and it's almost the same.
A fairly vicarious sort of way of doing it.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
fair, completely. And I get, well, I mean, here's the original copy I had from when I was 5 years old, which
Oh,
I
that's
am
cool.
currently sort of holding. I hope the internal battery isn't dead yet, but yeah, pretty fantastic. I couldn't read when I first started playing this game, but yeah, fantastic opportunity.
Awesome. Okay, so let's move on to what we're playing, our recent reviews. Speaking of Mario and Luigi, that Nintendo kind of era. Sandy, you're playing something similar?
I am. So in my spare time, I've been playing through the Super Mario Advance series. And right now I'm on Super Mario Advance 4, which is Super Mario Bros. 3. Not to confuse anyone.
The way they numbered
And it's
the re-releases on Game Boy Advance, which is weird, man.
Yeah. weird, but very good. And this is actually probably quite shockingly the first time I've played Super Mario Brothers 3.
I was going to ask, surely it can't be.
Because
But
I've
it
played
is.
World, and I've played the first game, and I've played bits and pieces of the second game, but I've never played the third before. And it's a blast. I can see why people have such a connection to it.
It's a great game. I remember playing it when I had a Game Boy Advance ROM on my PC when I was like 12 or something, and I played all these classic GBA games. Maybe I was a bit older than 12, maybe 15. And yeah, Super Mario 3 was so good.
Dude, was anyone old enough to
Also,
watch the movie The Wiz? Does anyone
No.
even know what I'm talking about?
No.
Oh man, it's just like
Not in the slightest.
it's like this 90s movie about a kid who or like it's like a group of, I think it's a family. And
Oh, is this the one about the Power Glove?
yeah, the Power Glove's in there. Yeah, and so like one of the kids has
Hmm.
got like autism or something, but he's like really good at video games, and it's like his brother's like really supportive of him, like enjoying his video games, and he enters this competition and he gets to the final round, and the game they have to play for the final round is like the first reveal of Super Mario Brothers 3, and I think it was actually like one of the first reveals of the game for America anyway. Like
Oh,
they knew there was
right.
a Super Mario Brothers 3, and like this
Yeah.
movie had it like before anything. Crazy.
That's
But like
nice.
yeah,
That's so
it's as
cool.
you say, it's for me either 3 or World are the two best games
Yeah.
in the
I think
two
World
in the
might
2D
still pip it.
series.
Just from a history perspective, I have genuine nostalgia for World. But 3 is really good, especially in this sort of, I mean, I think it was a port of the like remixed one they did for the Super Nintendo. So it's like
All
technically it's
Stars. Yeah.
remade for All Stars, but the Game Boy Advance one is it's just nice and accessible.
The only negative I have of Super Mario Brothers 3 is that Karibo's shoe is only in one level. Have you? It's in like is that World 5 level 3? It's the best item in the game. It's only in one level.
Wow, I didn't even realize that.
Do you know
Oh,
what I'm
and
talking
one
about?
thing,
Yeah.
Yeah.
one other thing
What?
about it,
Yeah,
it is that there are technically like I can't remember how many there are, maybe around 20 extra levels if you have the AR reader. I can't remember exactly what it is, but the device that lets you scan like little cards
Hmm.
on the Game
Mm.
Boy Advance, and a lot of them had levels for Super Mario Bros. 3.
Really? And there's 20
That I didn't
extra
know.
levels.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, it
wow.
might even be more than 20. I can't really remember the number, but if you, I think they're very hard to access now because those cards are probably ridiculously expensive to get hold of, as well as
Yeah.
the reader. But if you know what you're doing, you can probably find a pre-bundled package with that somewhere and give them a shot.
That's crazy. So you working on any reviews currently?
I am almost finished writing up my review of FBC Firebreak, which is Remedy's online shooting game. I don't really know how they define it, and it's been an interesting experience so far. I'm looking forward to getting the words out there that say in depth what I feel about it. Um, it it has some really excellent Remedy moments where it's got like puppet show safety videos and kind of just bizarre dialogue going on or interesting music. But in terms of moment to moment gameplay, it's unfortunately very similar to all the other first person shooter multiplayer games. So
Yeah,
it
unfortunately, that
has
one
unique
didn't really,
hooks, but
didn't
it
really
hasn't
stand out.
sold for them really. Yeah.
It's unfortunate because all their games are fire. Um,
Mm.
I don't know if
I
they were
think if it
made to get into multiplayer or.
yeah, I don't know. It's an unusual one, and I think it's a shame it hasn't paid off for them yet. But there's always that chance that they'll add something to it or tweak stuff over time, and it will find that audience eventually, which I hope happens because, as I said, it has those moments where you're just like, ah, yes, this is a Remedy game.
Did it follow any story or was it just kind
Uh,
of.
it has a plot. You are a Firebreak team dispatched to kind of control or disband the Hiss who are still present in the oldest house. If you've played Control, you know what I'm talking about. And it's set, I think, 6 or so years after Control.
Oh, wow.
So it has
Okay. I
lots of
didn't realize
references
that.
back to Control in like documentation and things like that. But it's kind of like Touch because it's obviously a frame for a multiplayer game rather than a narrative-driven adventure.
Yeah, right.
So
Did,
it's good. It's definitely interesting, and I think they can probably salvage something.
yes, well, let's
Hopefully,
hope the next game is a little better. I was really excited for that one, but yeah, the reviews weren't that great, and I'm excited to hear
Mm.
what you'll say about it.
yeah. Wait until you read my one. Maybe it'll change your opinion.
Well, I think it is free on PS Plus. I'm not sure about Game Pass, but I do know that it was free on
I
PS
kn- I know it was coming to Game Pass. I'm not sure if it's out now on Game
Mm.
Pass.
Oh, okay. It's not out yet on Game Pass.
Probably with their rough sales, they're reevaluating all of that at the moment.
Probably, yeah.
Mm.
Thank you, Sandy. Who wants to go next? Lee, what have you been playing?
I've just finished Off, which I spoke about in last week's podcast. The review will be up on Qualbert.com in a couple of days, I believe. So I've moved on to Shinobi Art of Vengeance, which is a return to the Shinobi series, which I don't think we've had an entry on for quite some time. I know it was. I'm thinking of the version that was on Sega Mega Drive or Sega Genesis if you're in the States. I'm sure there's been at least one since then, but it's been a while. So it's a 2D side-scrolling hack and slash where you play as a ninja, and yeah, the art style is super slick, very well animated. Um, the voice acting of the characters that I've come across so far is also very good. I think I was talking about it with Mac the other day, and one of my favorite voice actors, ProZD, always fun to watch his videos. He voices one of the enemies. I was like, it's always funny when you hear someone's voice. You're like, I know who that is. Yeah, it's been a lot of fun so far. It's just hard enough. So I'm only I think 3 or 4 levels in at the moment, but yeah, there's definitely a level of difficulty there. There's a bit of a Metroidvania aspect to it, where unlock skills that'll let you go back and go to areas that you weren't able to enter before. And I realized the other day when I was playing, the fast travel system is actually really, really good. So there's heaps of these sort of save stones as you move through the levels, and at any time you can just travel to anyone, unless you're in the middle of a boss fight or something. But yeah, you just pull up the menu and go, oh, I'm going to go back. I just unlocked this ability that lets me break through walls. I'm going to go back to level 1 and do it. And you can swing back, grab whatever items hidden there, and go back to exactly where you were in the blink of an eye. And I love games that give you that ease of access. It's like games that make you backtrack really frustrate me, so definitely don't have to do that here. Yeah, can't wait to get back to it actually, so let's finish this up soon. No, I'm kidding. Let's keep going.
All right, Lee's bowing out now because he
No,
has
no.
spoken.
I'm sorry.
No, that's out next week, I believe. So we'll hopefully have a review not too long after that. Thank you, Lee. I may as well go. So I have a few things that I've been very busy. I've been doing a few movies lately, and today in Australian cinemas is the release of Eddington. Have anyone heard of this movie?
Yes.
Nope.
Yes,
It's a
Lee has.
A24, isn't it?
It is an A24 movie,
No, it's gonna
and
be good.
it's directed by Ari Aster, who's done a lot of movies, and it's a black comedy satire set in a small town in the US during the height of COVID around May 2020, and the riots that happened not long after. Joaquin Phoenix stars as the sheriff, and he's a mild-mannered sheriff that just gets in over his head. And like a lot of Ari Aster films, it starts off quite slow and kind of snowballs into a massive western off kind of explosive ending, which was fantastic. So if you like kind of those satire, realistic films, it has a little bit of action, a little bit of out there stuff, not too out there, but a little bit, and yeah, it really hits the nail on that COVID head, kind of like what everyone was feeling and what we were experiencing. It was kind of like it was kind of like a flashback of those years, how crazy it all was, especially in America. It's been out in the US for a month or so, I think. So it's in Australian cinemas today. So if you like that thing, I'd recommend you check it out. And my review is on Qualbert.com as of today. Yes, and my other one I finished last week was Wu Chang, Fallen Feathers. The latest new Souls-like from a new developer in China called Lindsay. I was pretty excited to get into this. Look, it was a good Souls-like. It wasn't great. I had a few issues with it. But it's set in the Ming Dynasty, China. More towards the fall of it. The periods in turmoil and stuff like that. But they bring in a lot of mythology and stuff. There's creatures and whatnot. But a lot of the areas and enemies just felt a little bit bland, like kind of a little bit, normal-ish. The last area though was just like complete madness. It was more like Bloodborne than anything else, or something like that, which was good. There was so many bosses. I beat all of them except one because I missed one interaction with the NPC, which is really annoying. But yeah, the story follows Wu Cheng and this plague called the Feathering, and turns people into monsters, except Wu Cheng, and she gets powers from it. So you have your kind of like magic, and there's a lot of weapons, and yeah, a lot of bosses. My main issues with it, apart from what I just said, was some of the knockdown animations and the healing animations were very slow. A lot of bosses could stun lock you a lot. It was very frustrating, actually, especially when you knew what was coming and you tried to dodge and you couldn't, and you die. Um, a Souls like is only as good as the player, but when you know what to do and the controls aren't reacting fast enough, it's even more frustrating. But they have released a patch as of last week, I believe, that fixes these two issues. So now you can dodge pretty much straight away as soon as you fall down, and your drinking animation for your heal is a lot faster. So I haven't tried the update, but I have seen it in action, and it looks a lot better. So if I get time, I do want to go back and platinum it, but my review is up on the website if you want to go have a look. It's a good Souls-like. If you really like Souls-like and you're itching for a new one, definitely check it out. But yeah, otherwise, like, there's a lot of other better Souls-like that could occupy your time. And at the moment, I am playing so many games, way too many. But earlier in the week, I played a Midnight Murder Club with some of you lovely gents here.
Yes.
Yes, indeed.
We had a great time with our glorious leader, Ben Qualbert, as well. It's a multiplayer online game. There's no story, there's no campaign or anything. It feels more like a party game than like an Apex or a Fortnite or what have you. But the different thing about this is that if you buy the game once, you get 5 guest passes. So 5 of your friends can join you. And uh, that's kind of what made it feel like a party game, I guess. And I don't know how you guys felt, but it was a lot of fun when we had, some good matches. And
Definitely.
I think that was kind of what they were going for, which is good if you like that sort of multiplayer game. The issues I had was with we played for about 2 hours and we kind of did everything, and that was about it. There was no upgrades, there was no customization. It was fun, but it was very limiting. But yeah.
Yeah. I still think the worst part. I mean, yeah, I would have liked some progression. I would have liked some more with the game, but yeah, I think the one thing I didn't really like about it is that it felt like you were running through treacle. Like it was a very slow run, and like I don't need it to be like Call of Duty, like massive like sprint, slide, wall jump, or anything like that. But when it's a fairly decent sized map with a lot of places for someone to hide, I feel like you could have been faster. Like the movement could have been
Absolutely.
faster.
Yeah, especially because it's like a mansion and there's 2 floors. If you can change the rules a little bit, but if you play the whole house, there's only 6 people max in the match. You could go almost like 2 minutes out of like a 6-minute match without seeing anyone. Like, it's insane, especially because it's all set in the dark. You only
Yeah,
have your
so that's
torchlight.
the feature that made it a bit different and more interesting. So every character has a torch, and you can either have your torch on or you can have it off. And when you have it off, the screen is literally black unless one of the other characters, like one of your opponents, has their torch on. You can't see anything, even when you're in one of the outdoor regions of the map in the garden. It's still pitch black. when the torch is off, and it also turns off your UI. So when you've got the torch on, you can see um, your little mini map and your other bits and pieces. But when the torch is off, it just all goes. It's just black. So it's a really interesting experience. I found it very different and unique from that. But yeah, it just felt like it was. And look, it's very early on for it. I don't know if they're planning to add features, but it just felt a bit shallow. Like we played, I don't know, what was it, like 2 hours, 3 hours,
yeah.
and it was like, I've had enough for the night. I
Yeah,
wasn't like, oh,
exactly,
we've got to play this. There's only one map. There is the 2 levels of the house, but it's all still connected. It's only one map. There's a few different game modes which were interesting. There was that I can't remember what it's called, the one with the totems and the skulls, where you have to fight sort of
Headhunters. Yeah, that
headhunters.
was
Yeah, so
kind of like a Dead by Daylight mode where one person hunts the other team, the rest of
yeah,
the team.
so
That was
that
pretty cool.
was interesting. Although we did it with
That
4
was
as opposed to 6, which would have made it a bit more interesting, maybe. But no, it was still a lot of fun for the
that
time.
headhunter one was probably the most fun for me. It's especially just you and Ben in the bloody courtyard and me sniping you from the balcony.
Yeah,
Yeah, we found that Mac's really good at when he can see. But if you turn all the lights off, you can easily get him. It was a lot of fun experimenting with towards the end of the game when you kind of learn the map a little bit more and you can kind of like walk around in pitch black and know where you're going and surprise
Also, if
someone.
you crouch, you basically turn into Odd Job.
Yes, you do. Hat included. No, I'm just kidding. I'm nearly finished my review on that because it was a pretty short game, so that'll be up hopefully end of this week, start next week. And the other game I was playing, which I'm halfway through, is called Echoes of the End. It's a Icelandic action adventure by Merca Games, a new indie action game. Kind of feels like a little bit of God of War. Kind of has that kind of vibe. I'm not sure about the story yet. I'm not sure about the combat yet, but I'm seeing where it's going, and my thoughts will be out soon. That's it for me. We have one person left for this part of the podcast. Matt.
Two.
Oh, no.
Oh, sorry, two. I can't count. I forgot Para plays games too. I'm kidding. Mac, do you want to go first?
Sure. So I've been playing 2 games recently. One is for review, the other is not. For the review, I've actually finished playing and currently writing my review on Mafia: The Old Country. Set in 1905 Sicily, you play as Enzo Favra, a Caruso, basically a Sicilian name which means boy, given to those who are sent to work in the mines, and that's actually where you start out. You start in a sulfur mine. Enzo was sold off at a very young age by his father to basically pay off his father's debts, and now you work in the sulfur mine trying to, make the money to leave, basically. But stuff happens, you run away, and then you're found by the Teresi crime family, and the story basically evolves from there, where you join the family, you become a made man, and you start living your Italian mobster life, with some hiccups along the way. Um, I I did enjoy it. It's a very cinematic game. Out of all 4 of the Mafia games, this is the most cinematic one. It actually feels like you're playing a mobster flick, like you were part of that movie. Gameplay wise though, it's okay. There's a much bigger emphasis on sneaking and stealth. Um which is fine. I guess I would have preferred a little bit more action with it, but it was okay. Most of the missions are just that. It's just You play out the story. Um, you get to an area, you either sneak around or like some sort of event will happen where you have to start fighting someone. There are two missions though that are different, and those are races. One is a horse race, one is a car race, and yeah, it was fun. Like, I don't think it's the best in the series. I think that honor still goes to two, but it was an okay game, and it's not fully priced. Like in America, it's $50 as opposed to the standard 80 now, and even in Australia, it's also I can't remember. I think it's like
I think
70
it's
or
60.
$80.
I think it's 60.
Yeah,
I feel like 59. I remember seeing 59,
that's
maybe.
probably it. So
I think.
I think what you get is worth the price, but it's only like just on that level. Um, Also, I'm not going to get into spoilers, but the ending is very bittersweet.
Uh,
Like, I know the Mafia games aren't exactly known for having like sunshine and rainbows at the end of the game, but this one was actually quite left a little bit of a sour taste in my mouth,
oh,
unfortunately.
oh, okay. Oh
Yeah.
no, I'm wrong. It's 79. So still,
No.
yeah. Would you pay 79 for this?
I'd wait till a sale comes on.
Fair enough. Fair
Yep.
enough.
Um,
And what's your
the
other game?
the other game I've been playing, I was playing the open beta for Battlefield 6.
Now
Um,
this looks good.
Yeah, I love Battlefield 3 and 4. Those were my games back in the day. Like those were my multiplayer games. Um, Everyone is saying it feels a lot more like 4 than some of the latest games. And yeah, um, I hate to say it, but it feels like Dice are going the Call of Duty route almost, because um a lot of the maps are actually quite small um, compared to other titles in the series, and it seems to be a lot more close quarters orientated. Like there's even a slide and a dive function with it, so which I'm not a massive fan of. I play Battlefield for these big expansive maps, playing like flying jets and helicopters and going rogue in a tank. Like this is the reason I play Battlefield. I don't play it for the close quarters combat in a New York office building.
How many players concurrent?
Um, I know the big team battle on one of the maps was up to 64. I know Conquest had 64 for. Actually, it was a couple of maps had 64, but it was mostly 24, which was unfortunate.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but I'm hoping when the full game comes out, they have a lot more bigger maps.
Yeah, I did read that I think there's going to be 8 or 9 maps when the game comes out, and 2 will be big ones that weren't in the beta.
Hmm.
So how many were in the beta? Was it like 4? Is
I
that
think
right?
six were in the
6.
beta.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
So there's only going to
Um.
be a couple more. It doesn't sound like a lot of maps, to be honest.
Oh, I'm sure
No.
they'll have more come out.
Yeah,
I
probably
mean,
on the
hell.
battle pass or whatever.
I mean, hell. 3. I want to say 3 only didn't have many maps either, but they were so big. Like especially when you're playing like Rush, um, where the map you'd start off in one area and then you would go out to the next area and then the next
Yep.
as you progress further. So I'm
It felt
hoping we
like
get something.
more. Yeah, it
Yeah, it did
felt
feel
like
like
more than
more.
one. Yeah. We will see. All right, Parrot, do
Mm.
you want to tell us what you've been playing? You've been playing a game that that is actually very old.
Yes, unfortunately, I'm doing the real funny thing of taking the nostalgia drug I don't have any reviews necessarily coming out. My reviews will be coming out hopefully around middle of September and October for when those start hitting the bricks. But I have not really played this game before now. But Team Fortress 2, I very sincerely missed the boat on Team Fortress 2 all those years
Wow.
ago. Like I've got a one of them mercenary badges that say I signed on for the first time in 2012, but I spent maybe 10, 15 hours playing it at the absolute most. I'm pushing 60 now and I'm having a blast. And oh my lord, I missed out. I'm having so much fun. It's
Mm.
more than just the game itself. I watched two heavies say "putus" at each other for about 5 to 10 minutes, and it's a wonderful, beautiful, incredible thing. And I see Captain Trophy Hunter, you be coming in with a certain interestingly
Oh,
colored
the
box.
orange
Yes,
The
box.
yes,
orange
yes.
box.
This man bears the proof of purchase. I see.
Yep.
Yeah,
You're
I got
definitely
the
not
exact
throwing that
same.
one away.
Oh hell no! That's like I remember buying that from EB Games for $50. It was the best thing I have ever done,
Absolutely.
and I'm finally glad I get to play it because I played the hell out of Half-Life 2, all the episodes, Half-Life 2, and all the VR episode versions of it as well.
Just not episode 3.
Don't say it like that.
Sorry.
I'm
Half-Life
dead.
3 is out there with Bloodborne 2. They're hanging out together, just
Yeah.
waiting for their call.
And
In
Garfield
the
Kart
in the
3.
ether. So is there still servers on for Team Fortress 2?
2,000 plus each night.
Hmm.
That's
It's
insane.
incredible.
How
There's new
old is
game
this
modes.
game?
This game came out in 2007.
That's nuts.
That's
very
crazy,
Nearly
impressive.
right?
20 years.
Yeah. And they're still coming up with new game modes. Someone completely remade Two Foot, so it's not a brain aneurysm to play. And then there's another game mode where it's 42 engineers versus 21 players of any class.
But this isn't the original developer, right? This is like people modding it.
Yeah, these are all community servers with custom mods, models,
Yeah.
maps, X and Y and Z.
Yeah. So they turned everything over to the community, I'm taking.
Yeah, recent updates have been coming out. Like there's a Summer Cosmetic 25 case that's got Disco Elysium type of cosmetics in it.
Really? That's
Yeah,
crazy. Wow, I didn't
the,
realize
the-
that was still so popular.
yeah. I mean, even despite what we might have seen with Zaum lately, but
Yeah.
yeah, but absolutely, yeah. I'm having a blast with it. To be brutally honest with you, and
Very
enjoying what
good.
is
Yeah.
coming through.
It was a classic when I played it back in 2008. So
Oh, turning to dust.
okay. Anyway, we're gonna wrap up soon. Just we'll do a quick last segment with games we're looking forward to next month. I have a slightly lighter month, hopefully catching up on my backlog, but towards the end of the month we have the return of Silent Hill F. I am very excited for this. I've seen some latest gameplay and oh boy, it looks spooky. Yes, I'm definitely gonna get that one. What about you guys?
I'm not a massive horror fan. I've never played a Silent Hill game, but I might take a look at it.
Okay.
Oh, dude, you got to. Silent Hill is, in my view, the best survival horror / horror series.
Why do you think I
think
waited
it's.
for
I think
Sandy
it's.
to leave before saying this?
I mean,
Sandy had
look,
to go, and
yeah.
and Max the reason why. Nah, just kidding.
Resident Evil sucks. No, Resident Evil is good. I'm not going to say it's bad, but I think like Silent Hill has a lot less entries as well. But I think Silent Hill 2 in particular, I haven't played the remake, but I played the original. Yeah, I think Silent Hill 2 is still the best survival horror because I don't really consider Resident Evil 4 as survival horror, but it's an excellent game. Resident Evil 4.
Have playing like both remakes. Silent Hill 2 remake really gave into the fear of like the unknown. Like you don't know what's coming. Like there was levels where it was almost pitch black. When you're like down underground in the jail or whatever. And that was freaky. Not because there's like Mr. X is chasing you. Like it's freaky because you don't know what's around the next corner. It could be anything. Something could jump out of you, and something couldn't. And I think that's where the Silent Hill games shine.
Yeah.
Is the
It's that feeling of
horror.
unease. It's
Yeah,
like, what is happening?
yeah,
Whereas, yeah, I think Resident Evil sometimes just, leans a bit more into your jump scare type situations, which is still, I don't have a
absolutely.
problem with them. But yeah, I think we were talking about it on the podcast last week more in reference to horror movies. But yeah, certainly Silent Hill just gives you that weird feeling, and you've got the radio and the crackling, and then you suddenly hear like voices coming through, and you're like, oh,
Yeah.
something's coming. Yeah.
What the hell is that?
Yeah.
So what's your game you're looking forward to, Lee?
Yeah, this month I was looking at what's coming out, and I was like, Trails in the Sky. That's a re-release. So the Trails series, Trails of Cold Steel, Trails in the Sky, is a massive series of RPGs, JRPGs, and one of the few series that I haven't played at all. I do own a lot of the games on various systems, but I've just never had the time to pick them up because I believe that the current sort of estimation for, just like average playthrough time for all of the games in the series is like 700 hours.
That's
Like,
insane.
yeah, I'm like, I don't have time to start. And if I start, I'm not going to, stop until
Yeah.
I go all the way through. So, and also I didn't
So
really have
that's
a
no
good point
reviews
to,
for Lee
yeah,
for a year.
yeah,
Yeah.
2026, the year of the Trail series. Now, and I also never really had a great place to start in the series because Trails in the Sky is the first in the series. And I can't remember what it first released on. I think it was the Vita, possibly, which I never had. I never had a Vita. So I've got the Trails of Cold Steel, which is sort of the second block of games in the series. And I was like, I don't want to start them because I know that there's these other games that come before it. But now hopefully they're going to sort of re-release them in order. So they've started with Trails in the Sky first chapter. I think it's at the end of September that's coming out. So I've got my eyes on that, and maybe I'll finally jump in to the Trail series.
See what happens. See if we lose Lee. Mac, what about you?
There's two games that I'm really looking forward to for next month. The first one is Chronos: The New Dawn, which is that
How
third person
you
horror
know
survival
that's a
game.
horror survival game, right?
Yes, I'm well aware. Thank you. I I have played horror survival games. I just haven't played Silent Hill. I mean, hell, my favorite is Dead Space of that genre.
I
Yes,
love Dead
absolutely.
Space.
And Chronos, it feels like it's going to scratch that Dead Space itch that that a lot of people have had. Hopefully, it's better than what was that one that came out recently?
Callisto
Callisto
Protocol.
Protocol.
Yeah.
Callisto
Yeah,
Protocol.
yeah. So I'm hoping it's better than that. And it looks like it has some like wibbly wobbly, timey wimey stuff going on with that. So hopefully that'll be an interesting addition to it. But on top of that, like a week after, is Borderlands 4. And I am both extremely excited and extremely terrified. Will
Yes, I
will
think we
Gearbox
all
redeem
are.
themselves from the travesty that was Borderlands 3 and the movie?
Look, I don't think we
Like,
can say the movie was their fault, but yes, I agree.
no, it
Hopefully,
wasn't their fault. No, that specifically lies with Eli Roth, the producer. But if you want a full, unfiltered deep dive onto why I hate that movie and think it is one of the worst atrocities to hit cinema, you can check out my review on Qualbert.com.
yes, that was quite a good review and very telling that you hated it. And it is a
But
terrible movie.
I have
I
read your
was
review. I've seen every time I put on Amazon Prime, I see it sitting there, and I'm like, I'm still not going to watch it. I don't know what I want to
I
watch, but I know I don't want to watch that.
you know how
Mm.
you like hear a movie's bad, but you want to watch it just to see how bad it is?
Yeah, it's called The
Yeah.
Room.
Yeah. Oh
The Room
no.
is a classic
Tommy,
of cinema. You
Tommy
heathen.
Wiseau. So I watched Borderlands and I really regret it every day. So don't watch Borderlands, just go play Borderlands 2 and hopefully Borderlands 4.
I
What
got my fingers crossed.
yes.
I will say two things with it. Is that I haven't seen a lot of reoccurring characters. Like, sorry, not reoccurring, returning characters. I haven't seen a lot of returning characters with it. The only one I've actually really seen is Claptrap in a second, in like one of the trailers. So to me, like I know they have the ability to go to different planets. So there's every possibility we're going to see, Tiny Tigger. We're going to see Moxie. We might see Torg. We might see um, Lilith might make another appearance. But to me, it almost feels like they're trying to move away from the previous characters. And I mean, potentially good thing because they've been riding Handsome Jack's coattails for so long now. It's
Oh, yeah.
that cow was milked.
Yeah.
But then, do we have a Mass Effect Andromeda problem where this is not the characters that we have experienced all this time?
Mm.
I think Andromeda had problems that were beyond the cast. That, was,
Oh,
It was
yeah.
yes,
that game had
yes,
other
100%.
problems.
Okay,
I've got
okay.
a physical copy of that one.
Let's not get into that. We'll be here all night.
Mm.
But yes, hopefully. I mean, in saying that, they could be like keeping those a little bit secret. I would appreciate that more than rather, like cameos, not rather
Mm.
like having like new characters, but then those
Mm.
cameos being like a nice surprise. That would be cool.
Yeah.
We will see. That's only 3 weeks away, I think.
Oh no.
Okay,
Oof.
and Para, what are you excited for?
Well, as mentioned before, I'm very eager for some Borderlands 4 action. I played it PlayStation 3, PlayStation 4, PC, PlayStation Vita for PlayStation for Borderlands 2.
Mhm.
I've put my time in for that. I paid for the special super big boy deluxe edition of Borderlands 3. So as you might expect, I'm waiting for Borderlands 4 to come out with very clear evidence of it being fantastic and worth having off mute. Because look, admittedly, Borderlands 3 played like a charm. It's a beautifully made game, but just turn off the music, play a podcast, and start shooting gribblies and whatever.
The gameplay was phenomenal. Absolutely no bad notes.
Your beauty. Your
Fantastic.
beauty. That's what you want from a
Yeah.
PlayStation. No. God, good God, what's wrong with me? That's what you want from a first-person shooter. But on the other side of the coin entirely is an indie game that I've been keeping an eye out on for a little while now called Cloverpit, which comes out on the 5th of September. It's described as a roguelite slot machine nightmare. Gamble for your life in a never-ending debt simulator. So, Animal Crossing. So it has the art style of Shotgun Roulette. I'm sure you've heard of that game
Mhm.
before. It's got really sort of PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2 era pixel 3D sort of art style. But it's much deeper than Shotgun Roulette, which is a game I finished in 15 minutes. I did it on my first run, and I never went back to it. Cloverpit is like Balatro, where you can affect your multiplier, as well as how high you can make your score. So the higher your score, the higher the sort of level of success that you can sort of achieve in the next coming few rounds. There's minor numerical and mathematic number multipliers. There's stock investing you can do on the side, and you have a toilet in there as well, which just in case you were
Why
worried
not?
about. Yeah, sometimes you just need to take a slash while you're gambling.
Yeah, that's
You know,
fair.
so
Can't
this is the
stop.
sort of
Can't
game.
stop the luck.
Exactly, right? So I think that this would be the sort of perfect game to, play on your Steam Deck, on the back deck of a hot day with a beer and a cigarette, sort of thing.
How Australian of you. That sounds
Magnificent.
Para,
pretty
I've
cool.
never heard of this game before, and you've sold me immediately.
Yeah, I
Haven't I?
know, right?
Well, it is fantastic. There's a demo out right now, and one thing I actually quite like about it is the soundtrack because it's got that sort of muffled club two doors away sort of boom, 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 sort of music going in the background.
Yeah,
Love it.
right. So the demo's on Steam.
Yes, indeedy.
Anywhere else or just Steam?
Just Steam for
All
now.
right. So if you're interested in that one, check that one out. That sounds
Give it
really
a
cool.
nudge.
I'm gonna have a look at the trailer after this.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, that just about rounds us up. Thanks,
Oh.
boys, for chatting with me tonight.
Happy to be here with Forehead fellas.
You're off to start playing
And,
Chrono Trigger, I'm sure.
Yes, we've all got our homework.
Mhm.
But yeah, thanks for joining us, and look out for our reviews on Qualbert.com. You can join the Discord as well and chat with all of us. We're all there. We're all pretty active. Maybe Para's a little bit less active sometimes. We just
Hey,
have
look.
to You just
Amir,
have
I
to
promise.
nudge him a few times. No, but we all enjoy chatting about games, as you can hear. And we will all catch you on the next Qualcast. Thank you. Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.